Yo, everybody, what's up? How y'all doing, man? I hope y'all doing good, especially you mobile developers, web developers, other developers. I hope y'all fine. But mobile guys, what's up? How y'all doing? This has been a beautiful year for us, right? Last year, 2019, 2020, both of them have been, so far, they have been awesome for us. We've had new frameworks come out, we've had awesome updates, new concepts coming out. Pretty awesome. So I'm making this video real quick, very short video, hopefully, because I talk too much. Very short video for all you developers out there thinking about getting into that new cross-platform framework from Google, Google's Flutter. So I've made the transition a little bit this year, yes, around January, maybe 10th of January. So I've decided to actually check out a little bit about Flutter, and here's my feedback about the framework and my top 5 reasons why I actually chose to use Flutter for all my subsequent projects for 2020. So the first reason why I decided to use Flutter was the fact that, this is obvious. It's the basic reason why we all use those cross-platform frameworks. It is the fact that you only have to work on one code base. This is huge. It's a game changer, especially for us startup owners who are just beginning with not a lot of capital. So it is kind of hard to maintain 2 code bases at the same time. So you have to have 2 teams working on 2 different things, and you have to check everything about the production cycle, the bug fixes, the updates. It's a lot of work. So using Flutter actually made our work so much easier, because now you only have one code base, and if you need some specific native functionalities, you can just code them natively. So that was pretty awesome. So that was my first reason, and I'm sure it's the first reason of anybody using any of those cross-platform frameworks, right? React Native, Xamarin, whatever. But I chose Flutter because of that. That's my first reason. So second reason why I decided to move on to Google's Flutter was the awesome package management system that Flutter put in place. Wow, this is huge. Actually, it was a game changer for me, because initially I'm a native Android developer. So I actually make Android apps natively using Java and XML. So sometimes, some apps can get really cumbersome. It can get really hard to actually code some things, because sometimes you have some functionalities that you don't have natively. You do have to code them by yourself. It can take much time to get that done. Then you have to reproduce the same thing on iOS, just so you can roll out the updates together. So that was one huge deal why I chose Flutter to actually develop my apps, is because there is like a 90% of chance that anything that you want to do, anything that you thought about, somebody else, an angel somewhere in this world, coded this up for you. So all you gotta do is import the package and then use the code. That idea was really pretty awesome. It allows you to gain so much time while you're trying to make your software or your app. You can gain a huge amount of time because of that. Of course, it brings its own, package or deal of bugs and stuff like that, but that's really easier to deal with than the time that you would spend trying to make your own. So that's really good. That was my second reason, probably the one that actually made me do the transition, definitely. Third reason why I chose Flutter to make my apps for 2020 was, I was like, okay, and now on to, the documentation of Flutter. Kudos to you guys at Google. Actually, the documentation of this framework is awesomely made. They managed to, because this is a make or break situation for a framework, really. The reason why I didn't choose most of those other frameworks is because the documentation is poorly written. The way it is written, it is so hard to get your hands on the stuff. It takes too much time before you can produce your first actually viable result that can give you the courage to read more into it. Flutter actually made a perfectly good documentation adapted to every single background you come from. If you're an Android developer, there's a section for you that will actually explain you the basics of Flutter, in link with the terminologies that you know. coming from your background, which is pretty awesome. It was really, I was shocked when I saw this documentation. I was like, wow. I mean, I made my first Flutter app the first day I read about Flutter. I made my very first Flutter app like 2 hours later. And I actually understood a little bit how it worked already because, I was coming from an Android background and I read the documentation linked to the Android stuff. So all these widgets, the navigation, everything was like pretty straightforward. So it is really user-friendly. The framework is very user-friendly and the learning curve is really, really good. So, I mean, that part was awesome. You actually changed the game over there. Keep doing you, keep doing your stuff. Kudos to the team. For reason why I chose Flutter. Now this is a little bit biased because some people actually find this to be a reason why not to choose Flutter, but that was the reason why I chose Flutter is because Flutter is from the Google team. Granted, you guys don't have a good reputation when it comes to any new products because you discontinue things so fast, and sometimes it's even hard to see it coming. You're out here 100% on one thing and Google just discontinues the hell out of it. But I found it to be a good reason to choose Flutter because, I mean, let's face it, Google actually produce good software. They make good stuff, they make good performance stuffs, even though they discontinue things very fast. So that was also one of the good reasons why I actually chose Google's Flutter. Kudos to the team. I mean, hopefully they don't discontinue this next year. Hopefully. I mean, it has been around for quite a few years now, maybe three to 4 years, I don't know. But and it's going good. It's going good. It has a good momentum. I really do wish this can continue because this can be a huge deal in mobile apps development. Now web development too. I think they actually rolled that out, so you can actually make web apps using Flutter now. So that was the fourth one, I guess. So the fifth reason why I chose Flutter is, like I just said right now, how user-friendly Flutter was. Flutter is extremely user-friendly. You can get your hands on this stuff so easily, especially when it comes from like a mobile development background. There's a huge chance that you actually touched web dev at least once. I mean, you did do it. You did HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, all these languages, you at least did them once. So using Flutter, it's extremely user-friendly, extremely easy. You learn very fast. So if you want to make like an app, and the UI you can produce using Flutter is just insane. If you have to do this natively, you have no idea how hard you're gonna do it. It is insane. Like that kind of UI that you make, wow, it's incredible. Now, those are my top 5 reasons why I actually chose Flutter. Now, you have other reasons, like some people would tell you the hot reload, hot restart options. Not really my thing. I mean, I like it so much because it makes development so easy and you develop so much faster, but it's not really for me like a reason to use the framework. I don't see it that way. Although the Flutter team and the Dart team are pushing that mode very far. So I mean, it is optional. Now Dart also is the reason why I chose Flutter because Dart is a very good language. It's very flexible one, very easy to learn, very similar to JavaScript because we all know JavaScript. I know a few years ago nobody was using JavaScript. It was actually being, they always used to tell us when I started web development, web design, they used to tell us try to avoid JavaScript as much as you can. But today it's like learn JavaScript or you're out of a job. That's what it is. But Dart is really a good language. Looks like JavaScript a lot, and it's very easy to get your hands on it and to get up and running. And Dart also has a very good documentation. I think the teams are working together because they actually produce the same quality results together. So that's really awesome. So yeah, those are my reasons to actually make the transition to Flutter. And I actually came across Flutter while watching some few videos on YouTube, and then it just popped up as a suggestion to watch the Google Con of 2019, and then they were talking about Flutter. I was like, oh, but what is Flutter really? And I read into it and I realized that this is the framework for me because here, I mean, it makes things so much easier. This is already a 10-minute video. It's way too long. I'm gonna stop here. Tell me in the comment what you think about Flutter, and do you have any other reasons why you actually chose Flutter? That might be interesting to everybody on the platform. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon about maybe I'll make a tutorial video for those of you who want to start with Flutter and teach you how it works a little bit, and we can do some practical examples together. Let me know if you like that idea. You guys take care of yourself. Have a nice weekend. Bye.